this is Kermit the Frog.
Fascinating.
I'm Captain Kirk.
Magic is always there, as long as we keep looking for it.
Engage.
What does God need with a starship?
Thank you, love you. Mwah.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Places, please. And here we go.
Down at Fraggle Rock.
Welcome, Doozers, Gorgs, Rooshians, and things to episode 163 of the MuppeTrek Podcast. I'm Steve.
And I'm Jarman, and we're on a journey across the stars to compare and contrast the creative worlds of Jim Henson and Gene Roddenberry.
What started as reviews of the Muppet Show and Star Trek the Original Series has expanded into outer space.
And this week we have Fraggle Rock episode Junior Sells the Farm and Next Generation episode The High Ground. Anakin, I have the high ground. But before that, Steve, I want to rock.
There are all kinds of gems, jewels, and geodes in the world, many of which can be found in Fraggle Rock. And this week's is Diaspore. Found in 1801 by French mineralogist named René Justuet, I think. I tried. It comes from the Greek word diaspora, which means to scatter. Because when it is heated and they break it, it breaks in a very distinct way that is very distinct to diaspora. It's only, despite its beautiful color, it's really was treated like a trash gem for a long time, and it's only really found its popularity in jewelry and in the last 30 to 40 years. Industrially, diaspora is a big part of bauxite ore, which is the primary ore that they get aluminum out of. So it's sort of like a byproduct of aluminum. So yeah, that's Diaspora, and that rocks.
It's very pretty, folks. Check it out. It's pretty rock.
Yeah. What's going down in Fraggle Rock? Well, what's up, Doc? Doc bought an automatic dog feeder, but is learning to use it and neglects Sprocket along the way. He gets it all set up, but the dispenser only dispenses closed cans, further delaying and neglecting to feed his dog. Doc convinces himself he made a bad purchase and finally gets the food ready and gives Sprocket a big hug to apologize once again for all the neglect. What's going down in Fraggle Rock? Red and Moki are captured and caged in the Gorg's garden. We kind of start in the middle of a big situation, but Moki's sunny disposition doesn't improve their situation, no matter how much positive thought she thinks. After being dragged around by Junior, Moki keeps her like really upbeat attitude, and they watch Junior get conned by a frog of some sort. This is all frog from their perspective, so I'm not sure what they get out of this. Moki realizes that he's being conned, and he talks to Junior that night and tells him that he's being swindled. They agree to help Junior trick his way out of this deal, pretending that a bush produces diamonds to try to get back Junior's palace. In the end, Junior thanks them. They're free to go, but Moki wants to stay and see what happens. Well, in the Gorg's garden, the big story this week, Junior caught some Fraggles, but Pa needs him to come hold a ladder. Pa is sick and tired of all this palace maintenance, and he thinks they should just sell it and go someplace else. This is when it is introduced into canon that Junior is 473 years old.
Yeah, it's
nuts. Just wanted to point that out.
I couldn't believe that.
And it's just about time he married a princess. But they tell him he has to plant a magic pea seed, and it will turn into a fair Gorg maiden overnight. Little Red Riding Hood exists in Gorg reality too. This is also a canon thing that I wrote down. They mention Little Red Riding Hood. Junior sets down the Fraggles, going looking for the magic pea, when suddenly a weird entrepreneurial frog named Wander McMooch shows up. McMooch butters Junior up and reveals that he wants to buy the palace, and Junior thinks of his father's lament and agrees. Junior wants to sell it, but he doesn't want gold. He wants peas of power so he can find his fair maiden. Junior makes the deal. They say the solemn oath of, I guess, the Gorg, nani nani hey nani nani cha cha cha. Pa finds out what happened, blows a gasket when he learns what Junior has done, and selling the palace for a sack of peas is just an outrage. That's when they reveal that the pea thing is a lie and that they won't sell, but Junior swore the solemn oath of the Gorgs. Junior sings a sad song about his dream Gorgette, I'm not sure, Gorgette, who he is afraid he will never meet. Dream Girl Lover is the name of the song. Realizing he's been swindled, he works with the Fraggles on a ruse. The bean plant that grows overnight won't grow fair maidens, but grows diamonds. Ma Gorg and sings a sad song, "Oh world, oh time, oh woe." Pa joins her, and but the song does not move Wander McMooch, who is entrepreneurial and evil as ever. He plans to tear the palace down. Junior arrives with the pea plant, waiting for Dawn to change it into a bride, but, oh, darn it, they just turn into diamonds. Well, he agrees to trade it back for the palace, but after making the deal and saying the solemn oath of the Gorg, Wander McMooch realizes that they're just rhinestones. They're not diamonds. Junior blames the Fraggles for the idea, but Wander seems deeply, deeply afraid of Fraggles. Junior grabs Red and Moki, throwing them in Wander McMooch's faces, and McMooch makes a run for it. Ma is so proud of Junior, and Pa thinks that he was brilliant. So, Darn, what did you think of this week's episode of Fraggle Rock, or I guess the Gorg's Garden?
Yeah, this week on Gorg's Garden. Well, we hadn't seen too much of Gorg stuff lately, so it was nice having a very Gorg-centric episode. But who lives right next to the Gorg's Garden that we still didn't see? Marjorie, the trashy. God damn it, you're right. Where the hell is Marjorie? Is she okay?
I want Marjorie back too.
This is weird at this point. This is getting strange. But yeah, like you said, there is no postcard this week. There's no traveling
Matt.
No
postcard, no Doozer, no Marjorie.
No Gobo, no Boober, no
Gobo, Wembley, Boober. Yeah, I don't think we see a single shot in Fraggle Rock.
That's rare.
So it's weird. This is a strange one.
But some really great Gorg lore that you mentioned. So it makes me still think once again, where are the rest of the Gorgs? And also, what the hell is Wander McMooch? It's like you said, like a frog, maybe.
Yeah, but you're right. He was like a speedster. Like he just zipped around.
Yeah,
really fast.
I mean, like a sound effect. Like
I read it as kind of frog.
Yeah,
of some sort.
And what's weird is that they're not surprised to see him. They don't seem to recognize him in particular, but they're not surprised to see another weird being in their garden. So if they must see random creatures just kind of walk on through, but they don't ever see any Gorgs. But we had those birds
and even
occasionally.
They don't have any subjects, and they admit to that.
Right.
Like, who are subjects? No one. But at the same time, I think in season 1, Pa seems to think that there's someone that could invade them.
Right. Over and over again. There's going to be a war. We're at war. Yeah. So strange. And they're very old, so apparently.
Strange. But Junior 473. And they characterize, how old would you say they characterize Junior as?
Well, the strange thing is, I think the Pa also said that you're around the age when I met your mother. I think he said that.
Right.
So it implied that
we think like late teen. He just plays so young and imbecilic.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe Pa was like in his early 20s, our age kind of feeling, but maybe Junior's just like underdeveloped and sheltered, so he's acting like an idiot. But he really should
say like 19.
Yeah, like 19, 20, something like that.
Okay, so that means so 24 years is the equivalent of a Gorg year.
That makes
almost
sense.
25 years.
Yeah.
So let's say if Pa and Ma are like in their mid 50s.
No.
That means that Ma and Pa are like 1,300 years old.
Whew.
Right?
They're ancient creatures. Like, this is weird and astounding.
Well, think of it this way. That, like, so that means that the worlds may have been connected then as early as, like the 700s in our world? Like 700s AD?
Maybe. They could have lived alongside humans.
He did meet Ma Gorg, which means that there were others at some point, right?
Yeah, like how did he not know her? And she must have been part of a society. They must have come from their own parents. Like, where are the other Gorgs?
Everyone else is gone.
They talk about the Master Gorg or whatever they have a painting of in their house. That was in this episode actually as well.
Yeah, true. And then there was the other one about like the little non-Gorg guy who left them and made them masters of the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
And one day he would return. There's a lot of Gorg lore.
There
I think like more than any other group, they really drop Gorg lore here.
And so I wonder where that goes. If there's books or novels about the actual canon of what happens.
I don't know. It makes me want to record that. Like, make a note and make the great history of the Gorgs.
I'm sure like the wiki pages are pretty full of that stuff, but we don't I don't want spoilers because I had to finish the series first, but
That's true. I don't want lore spoiled for giant puppets.
But one other thing, after this episode, it's not going to make a lot of sense that Junior Gorg is still so mean to the Fraggles because he leaves them with pretty good terms here. Like they helped him out, he helped them, and I don't know.
And in the new show, he is much more of like a friendly creature. That does reflect.
Okay.
And with that being said, they've kind of tipped their hand at that before. Like even when he's caught them, there was that one time that I think Gobo played dead and he was like bereft that he had killed one of the Fraggles.
True.
So I think he just desperately wants friends. Like that's the thing. If he's literally the only Gorg child remaining, he's probably desperately lonely. No shit, he's underdeveloped.
Yeah, exactly. He's forever a child at 473 years old.
473.
Poor Junior.
But that being said, I did really like Wander McMooch to the point where I now want to make a D&D character called Wander McMooch.
Great name. And he's got haste and like...
Yeah. And I like the performer that did him, which is someone that we really haven't seen before. It's actually... he was a guy named Bob Stutt, who was a principal performer when Fraggle Rock was introduced to Canadian audiences. And they had Sesame Park, which was the Canadian adaptation of Sesame Street. But for anybody maybe in our generation who remembers the show Under the Umbrella Tree,
no,
which had puppets, he played Iggy the Iguana.
Okay.
In Under the Umbrella Tree. So that's as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I do remember that show.
So not a usual voice on the show. He did sound very unique.
Yeah, mind you, he had done other stuff with Henson Company, but like as soon as I heard Wander McMooch, I was like, I got to look up who this is because this is not one of the normal dudes.
Yeah, he was a unique creature, all of his own, voice and everyhere. But yeah, I'd say a pretty
good.
What do you say?
We need Marjorie.
I know.
I'm so mad.
Where is Marjorie?
And the Fraggles were there. They could have had a side thing to go see Marjorie at some point. Like anything. But this one, I'm afraid we're never getting her back.
I don't know how that's
all
possible.
This season so far.
Because you've seen most of the episodes before in the past, right?
Probably not late seasons, no.
Oh, that's fair. I hope she comes back. I just figured she was always a fixture of the whole show.
And that's how she sits in my mind, too.
Yeah, me too.
The fact that we haven't seen her in 20 episodes is kind of nuts.
Unless Nickelodeon, wherever we saw it when we were kids, like only had rights to like the first season or two. And like we just saw all those episodes and we didn't see the late seasons. And then she just doesn't come back.
That's true. It was all based on like licensing and syndication rights back then. So who knows?
Yeah. So I think it's a good middling episode for me because this wasn't a full cast, but I think they did very well with the Gorg story, and it was I'm fascinated by the Gorg lore now. I'm locked in.
They really are lore dumping the Gorgs. Oh, and then also like a weird similarity. We've seen the Solemn Oath of the Fraggle, and this time we saw the Solemn Oath of the Gorg. Hey nanny nanny, hey nanny nanny, cha cha cha.
It's like a whole thing in this universe. Every race has its own solemn oath.
Yeah, that's my hope, is that we're going to see some Doozer Solemn Oath at some point and really complete the circle.
It's going to be adorable, too.
That's right. All right, Jarman, what happened on this week's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation?
That's right. We have no silly creatures this week. Oh, but first, we need to discuss
silly creatures.
Our best Muppeteering moment.
Oh, shit. I skipped it.
That's right.
So I actually said it. I covered it inadvertently. I really loved Wander McMooch.
Yeah.
I really dug it. He was perfectly sleazy, good change up, and well performed. So between all those things, I thought he was the best.
It's like you playing Allie Hackham in Oklahoma. He's like that kind of character.
You mean in partial blackface? Because that's how I remember it.
That was not your fault because you were a child. So
yes, there were about a dozen adults that should have said that was not okay.
Oh God. Well, if you play Wandering Mooch, you can play a frog. You're allowed to frog face. That's okay.
That's true. Green.
So my MuppeTrek moment, I loved Junior Gorg holding the 2 mini Fraggle puppets that are able to move and shaking them in the face of Wandering McMooch. Like, just look, all as the imposition of all the different sizes. It was really fun. So that was my little favorite moment there.
Nice.
But this episode of Trek
TNG.
So we have the high ground. The Enterprise is visiting the planet Rutia 4, I guess, or Rutia, which is dealing with a long-running conflict between the ruling government and this rebel group known as the Ensada. The Enterprise is mainly there just to drop off medical supplies, but it doesn't take long before they're pulled into the middle of this whole strife and situation, the rebellion and the main government. The Ensada, the rebellion, have developed a strange transporter-like device that lets them phase in and out of locations, which makes them extremely difficult to track. Unfortunately, this phasing technology also slowly damages the people that uses it at the DNA cellular level. So it's not exactly a long-term solution for these people, but it does make them very effective at these sudden attacks. During one of these attacks at the very beginning of the episode, the leader of the rebellion, Kirill Finn, which is a very, kind of roguish name. He's the leader of the Ensada, kidnaps Beverly Crusher as she's kind of helping the people that were just attacked by the rebels. He wants to use her as her presence to draw attention to the Ensada's cause and force the Rusian government to take their grievances seriously, but also capture her so she'll actually help heal his people that are all being cellularly damaged by this phasing technology. Crusher, meanwhile, she stays calm, but she talks to the captor. She tries to understand what's going on and help the victims because she's always following the golden rule, the Hippocratic Oath. But back in the Enterprise, Jean-Luc Picard is furious and with Riker is trying to work with the Rusians, the actual government, to track down the Ensada base and find Beverly Crusher. And it's basically... they're trying to track the phasing technology as well, and Wesley Crusher is helping with that with his genius-level Mary Sue brain, trying to track down how they're going in and out of phasing. And actually, apparently it's dimensional travel, which apparently was never proven to be possible, but only if you're really reckless and don't mind being killed by it eventually. While being held captive, Crusher learns more about Finn and the history of their conflict. The Ensada see themselves as freedom fighters who've been pushed out of power and ignored for generations. Finn believes that without doing this dramatic action and violence, their cause will simply be ignored. So kidnapping Crusher, he eventually figures out that will get the Federation involved and make them work as mediators to get them power and win their cause. Eventually, the Enterprise crew is able to manage to locate the Ensada base, but it's underground and completely inaccessible except by phasing or by transporting. A rescue attempt is made and Crusher is safely recovered. Finn escapes briefly, but then they finally shoot the Ensada come in and the Rusians come in and they kill him at the end, which brings me to an excellent quote that comes at the end of that, which is, I put it here somewhere. Where did I put it? Basically, there's a dramatic quote at the end where Riker says that there's a boy that comes in after the leader is killed and he's about to go shoot everybody for killing the leader. And Beverly Crusher is able to talk him down. And the Rusian leader is like, oh, great. Now that he's seen his leader be killed, there'll be another generation of rebels and terrorists. And Riker says, no, that boy put his gun down. That could be the start of basically peace if you just let it be and let that grow. So the whole episode kind of being a commentary on terrorism and what makes people become terrorists and who's really in the wrong here. But so they're not. So it kind of goes unresolved at the end. That they rescue Beverly Crusher and they fly away, and we don't know what exactly happens to the Rusian government and the Ensada. But could there be peace in the future? We don't know. So a complicated episode, but fun nonetheless. So Steve, what do you think of this episode? With my terrible description of it?
Overall, pretty positive. It was interesting to see, and this is more of a question, I guess. Crusher at one point gives an order and kind of pulls rank on Worf, I think it was. And that's an order lieutenant. So like, is she high? Is her rank higher than lieutenant?
I think it is in certain circumstances. They kind of established this back in the original series with the doctor having certain orders that even the captain has to follow. If it means the well-being of the captain or other members of the ship.
So it was just interesting. I just had this moment. I was like, oh, is she like a commander of some sort?
Yeah, it's like a different kind of rules.
Even though the symbolism and sort of the allegory they were telling was not super veiled as far as like the Middle East equivalent, I think they were very successful with it. And yes, it was a little thick at times, but I think they did okay.
Right.
I liked the idea of like an explosive device on the Enterprise. Like, it's very rare. So many times threats are from the outside, or the ones that are for inside are like a ghost in the computer. This was just like, there's a friggin' bomb.
Immediately.
Just immediately a bomb. I'd also like that Worf finally got shot. Like, we finally saw him take a hit.
He's always getting beat up and shot all the time, stabbed. Like, this poor guy.
After Picard was captured, it suffered from some pacing issues. Everything really kind of slowed down once Picard was taken, for otherwise what really was a very well-moving episode sort of up to that point.
Can see that.
I do love when Picard realizes that he can use Beverly Crusher as a honeypot against this terrorist.
Yeah, I didn't mention that the terrorist was kind of falling in love with Beverly and drawing pictures of her every time.
And I thought the end, while nice, was like too poetic and clean. The kid choosing not to shoot and end the cycle of violence. And that was where it got too thick for me.
See, well, I took that a little differently, where if this was a TOS episode, it would have been cleanly resolved. Like, either they would have squashed the terrorist entirely, or they would have completely made the terrorists, negotiate successfully with the Russians. Whereas I like that this it left it kind of open and more complicated how it would be in real life, where it's like, it's not really concluded yet. It's still complicated. And I like they kind of left it like that, with some hope, but not really a clean fix. You know what I mean?
That kid's still going to a prison camp, just for the record.
He might still disappear.
That kid did not have a good ending.
No.
By any means.
That's fair.
But overall, pretty good. I like the guest actor this week. I thought he did a pretty good job.
The leader of
we got to see Beverly
terrorists.
Crusher, and then we got to see her and Picard almost admit love to each other again, but fall short again.
Yeah, Rise, they're about to think they're going to die. She's like,
Luke,
I have to tell you something.
Yeah. Will they, won't they? They won't. But yeah, overall, pretty good. I don't think it's going to end up top 3, but who knows?
Yeah, I think it did what it wanted to do pretty well. And I finally found the quotes right there. It's the commander of the Russians. He sees the boy being taken away after he decided not to kill them all for killing the leader. She says, already another one to take his place. It never ends. And then Riker says, he could have killed you. He didn't. Maybe the end begins with one boy putting his gun down. And I was like, oh, I like that. And it is kind of over the top, but it's brutal. I like it. But yeah, I think you're right. It was a little heavy handed, but did it pretty well. And a great Beverly showcase. We had a Gorg showcase in the Fraggles and a great Beverly showcase in this one.
Major showcase for typical secondary characters.
Yes, that's very true. Another similarity between these two episodes. Some Trek facts, only a few this time. Due to a line from Data in reference to the Provisional Irish Republican Army, or the IRA, and the reunification of Ireland in 2024, he mentions, the episode was originally banned in the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland, not airing in the usual running order on the BBC. In 2006, it was shown on Sky One, which had assumed the broadcast rights at the time, with the relevant line edited out. So they took that line out entirely. It was eventually shown unedited on BBC Two on September 29th, 2007 in an after midnight repeat slot, probably by accident. They're just like, oh, we got the tapes. We'll just put it on. It has never been shown on RTE, which is the Irish station, probably in Ireland, not the part of the UK. So yeah, contentious, because they're like, oh, Ireland will reunify one day in 2024. And they just kind of threw that out there. That's really heatedly political. In important carpet news, this was someone bothered to put this in the trivia facts. This episode marks the first appearance of the darker blue carpeting seen on the main bridge until the end of the show.
I noticed. I was like, man, it is darker.
Look at that carpet.
Is that new?
It must be new.
Did they have that installed while they were at dock?
I have to know. And the last one, this was the first episode of the Star Trek franchise to be both written by a woman, Melinda M. Snodgrass, and directed by a woman, Gabrielle Beaumont. The only other Star Trek episode to be completely written and directed by women is Exile 2003, which must have been Enterprise, which is written by Phyllis Strong and directed by Roxanne Dawson of Voyager fame. All other Star Trek episodes directed by women were either written by men or co-written by a team of male and female writers. So it's unique in that regard, which is pretty cool. There you go. So, Steve, what are our Trek connections this time around?
Oh, boy. The role of Kirill Finn was played by actor Richard Cox. He was, of course, in a movie called Cruising, which featured Al Pacino, who kind of sounds like Cookie Monster. So that's...
What a connection. I'm sure you could have gone from Al Pacino to an actual connection to the Muppet universe.
Well, I kind of did. So this is funny. So I searched like Sesame Street and I tried to jump from Al Pacino. And what I found was this comedian who's an impressionist who does these videos from his car where it's him talking to other celebrities, but the other side of the call is just him doing that celebrity impression. And it was him doing an impression of Al Pacino where Al Pacino is saying he hates that people say he sounds like Cookie Monster. And I thought it was so funny that I was like, yep, that's it.
And that's
where
that
sounds
came
like
from.
Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's funny.
The waiter was played by Mark Buckland. He has since gone on to become a big-time director. He directed episodes of The Santa Clarita Diet, Grimm, Better Off Ted, My Name is Earl, The West Wing, and Scrubs. He also was a producer, won the Emmy for My Name is Earl. And of course, Scrubs related, it's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie. Miss Piggy takes a gig as an extra on Scrubs, but she refuses to die and gets kicked off.
Wait, who was the waiter? There was a waiter?
I think that the word must be wrong here. I think autocorrect took over, and it's been 3 weeks since I watched this episode. So I don't know.
I was like, there's a waiter in this episode?
There, no, I'm thinking autocorrect took the wheel and pulled hard to the left.
Mark Buckland, the high ground. Let's see. Mark Buckland, the high...
I just pulled a name out of friggin' nowhere.
Star Trek. It's like you just made up that connection.
No, he's listed as waiter. I'm not wrong.
That's what? Oh, hold on. I'm looking at Memory Alpha here. Oh, he was just standing in that kind of the promenade where the bomb happened in the beginning. I guess he was a waiter while he was being...
Yeah, he had 2 lines or something. Well, he went on to be a big-time TV director and producer.
Crazy.
That one guy.
Yeah. All right.
And then the boy... who at the end doesn't fire, was played by a young actor, Christopher Petier. I think that's how you say it. He was also in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which had a starring role for Josh Charles, who, if you look him up, you'll know who he is. But he played the government agent in Muppets from Space that fights with Miss Piggy at one point.
Gotcha. Josh Charles.
Of Dead Poets Society fame.
Yeah, I recognize him. Okay, he's in lots of stuff. Good connections.
So those are our Trek connections. Al Pacino kind of sounds like Cookie Monster.
And it's because these episodes are so similar.
They're basically the same.
People make decisions that threaten the stability of a community or home. Junior decides to sell the ancestral Gorg home, and Finn tries to terrorize the whole continent. So there you go.
Okay. Both feature children learning important lessons. The boy decides to stop the cycle of violence and not kill them, and Junior learning to never trust a frog.
He'll meet Kermit one day and be like, nope, I'm not going to do it. Both have our main characters being held hostage, Crusher by the Rebels and Fraggles by the Gorg.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Both feature confusing and near impossible technology, the phase shifting between realities in Star Trek, and Doc trying to figure out the damn dog food machine.
Both equally complicated.
Equally complex.
Oh, God, what's that noise?
Transporter malfunction. Transporter malfunction.
Now is the time in our episode where we take one character from one episode and switch them to the other and vice versa. So what you got for us, Steve?
Trek to Rock this week. I'm going to bring over Finn to replace Wander McMooch, zapping in and out of reality and doing whatever it takes to close the palace deal and secure a place for his people, even kill.
Because a very serious episode of Fraggle Rock.
Very serious.
Trek to Rock, I'll bring over Deanna Troi. I know this is a little sexist, but hey, it works. Bring over Deanna Troi to replace the pea plant. Because she turns into the wife Gorg that Junior needs and is looking for.
Fair maiden Gorgette.
Yeah. Because that guy needs a lot of therapy and a lot of guidance. And I think she'd be really good to give him that leg up.
That's fair. Yeah, she could help him get out of his arrested development, maybe.
Exactly.
Rock to Trek, I'm going to bring over Moki and replace Dr. Crusher. They both had the same sort of hostage syndrome where by the end they were identifying with their captors in an unhealthy way.
You're right. Stockholm syndrome. Oh my God.
That's
right. Rock to Trek, I'd bring over Wander McMooch, the opposite of what you did, to replace Finn. And instead of violence being used for their revolution, he would just trick the government into giving them their independence because he'd be so crafty and slimy.
Yeah. I'll trade you this bag of magic beans for some independence.
Sounds good to us. It could work. But that brings us to the end of episode 163 of the MuppeTrek Podcast.
Join us next time for Fraggle Rock episode Fraggle Wars.
And Star Trek The Next Generation episode Deja Q.
So from the lovers, the dreamers, and us.
Live long and prosper, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the MuppeTrek Podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter.
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
This podcast has been brought to you by A Play on Nerds.